Your lease expires in 6 months, and given your wife's behavior tonight, I'm thinking the new rate should reflect current market values. Triple what you're paying now, I said, watching CEO William Hartley's face drain of color as his just-delivered speech about their company's permanent home echoed through the ballroom. His wife, Catherine, who'd spent the evening mocking my quaint dress and adorable attempts to fit in with the executive wives, was frozen mid-sip of her champagne, finally understanding that the building owner she'd been instructing the property manager to harass about renovations was standing right in front of her. But what made the moment perfect wasn't their shock. It was my husband David in the corner, recording everything on his phone with the biggest grin I'd ever seen. The Hartley Industries annual gala was supposed to be David's night. After 5 years of 80-hour weeks, he'd finally made senior vice president, and I'd bought a new dress specifically for the occasion. Nothing flashy, just a simple black cocktail dress that fit perfectly. I'd been so proud walking in on his arm, right up until Catherine Hartley intercepted us at the entrance. "David," she gushed, air-kissing his cheeks while looking through me like I was furniture. "So wonderful you could make it. And this must be your wife." The pause before wife spoke volumes, as did the way her eyes cataloged my dress, department store, shoes, last season, and jewelry. Simple gold wedding band, no diamonds. "Sophia," I'd said, extending my hand. She'd taken it like it might be contaminated. "How nice. David, you really must introduce her to the other wives. They love taking new members under their wing, teaching them how things work." David had squeezed my hand, a silent apology. He knew how Catherine was, had warned me she was particular about company events. But he needed this job, loved this job, and I could handle one night of condescension. Or so I thought. The evening had been a masterclass in subtle humiliation. Catherine had introduced me to her circle as David's wife. Isn't it sweet how he married his college sweetheart? The implication clear. Before he knew better, before he understood what kind of wife an executive needed. "What do you do, Sandra?" one of them had asked. "It's Sophia. I work in real estate." "Oh, how fun, residential. I bet you help young couples find starter homes. That must be so rewarding." "Commercial, actually," I'd said mildly. "Commercial." Catherine had laughed, that tinkling sound that meant nothing good. "How ambitious. Does your little agency handle many properties?" "A few." I hadn't mentioned that my little agency was Rhodes Property Group, that I personally owned 47 commercial buildings in the city, or that the very building we were standing in was one of them. Why bother? They'd already decided who I was. The torture had continued through cocktails. Comments about my dress. "So practical. I love how you're not trying too hard." My hair, natural, is very brave these days. My conversation topics. "It's adorable how you keep up with business news." David had been pulled away repeatedly, important conversations with important people. I caught his apologetic glances across the room but waved him off. This was his night. I could handle the Mean Girls Club. Then came dinner. I'd been seated at the wives' table, naturally. David was at the executives' table, making connections, building relationships. Catherine held court at the head, regaling everyone with stories of their recent European vacation. Of course, we stayed at the Four Seasons. William insists on a certain level of quality. "I'm sure you understand, Stella." "Sophia," I corrected for the dozenth time. "Of course. Though I suppose when your husband makes David's salary, you have to be more selective about travel. But there are lovely local destinations. Have you tried the state park? Very affordable." "We enjoyed the Maldives last month," I said evenly. "The overwater bungalow was nice." Silence, then Catherine's laugh, sharper now. "How extravagant. David must have gotten quite a bonus. Or did you use points?" She turned to the others. "Travel points can make anything possible these days. William's assistant books all our travel." I couldn't possibly keep track of those point systems. "We paid cash," I said. "I don't like being locked into point systems." Another laugh. "Of course you did. David's so lucky to have a wife who's careful with money." Though between us girls, she leaned in conspiratorially. "Be careful about seeming too eager to spend his earnings. Men notice these things." That's when it clicked. She thought I was a gold digger. This whole evening, the condescension, the little digs, she cast me as the grasping wife spending her husband's hard-earned money. "You're right," I said. Men do notice things. Like when their landlords are unhappy. Catherine waved dismissively. Oh, you don't need to worry about that. William owns this building. Well, the company does. It's their crown jewel, prestigious address, perfect location. He was just telling me how they'll never have to move again. I smiled. How wonderful for him. Dessert was served, some architectural thing with gold leaf that cost more per plate than most people's car payments. Catherine continued her performance, oscillating between barely veiled insults and patronizing advice. Sophia dear, can I give you a little guidance? I know it must be overwhelming, these events. The other executives' wives and I were talking, and we want you to know it's okay if you feel out of place. Not everyone is built for this world, but with some effort, you could learn to fit in better. That's very kind, I said. For instance, that dress. It's sweet. Very department store. But at these events, people notice brands. It reflects on David, you understand? I could introduce you to my personal shopper. She works miracles, even on a budget. I'll consider it. And conversation skills are so important. You tend to be rather quiet. Men like William need wives who can work a room, who understand the game. But don't worry, it can be learned. I wasn't always this polished either. I doubted that. Catherine had been born polished, born knowing exactly which fork to use and which designer to wear and how to make other women feel small with a smile. Thank you for the advice, I said. Oh, one more thing. She touched my arm, false concern radiating from every pore. I overheard you mentioning commercial real estate earlier. A word of caution, don't oversell yourself. The men here deal with real players, major firms. It's embarrassing when wives pretend to understand their husband's world. Just be yourself. David married you for who you are, not who you're trying to be. The lights dimmed for speeches. I watched William Hartley take the stage, puffing up with self-importance. He talked about the company's growth, their new initiatives, their permanent home in this prestigious building. Hartley Industries isn't just renting space, he declared. We're investing in our future. This building represents our commitment to excellence, our permanent place in the business landscape. We're here to stay. The applause was thunderous. Catherine preened like a peacock, accepting congratulations on their husband's success. That's when I stood. Excuse me, I called out, my voice carrying across the ballroom. Mr. Hartley. Heads turned. William looked annoyed at the interruption. Yes. I wanted to congratulate you on your commitment to the building. As the owner, I'm always pleased to hear tenants are happy. The silence was deafening. I'm sorry, William said slowly. The owner? Sophia Rhodes, Rhodes Property Group. We've never met formally. I prefer to let my property managers handle day-to-day operations. But since you're so committed to staying, perhaps we should discuss your lease renewal. Catherine's voice cut through the silence. That's impossible. I turned to her. Which part? That I own the building, or that I've been sitting here all evening listening to you explain how I don't belong in my own property? You're lying, she hissed. I pulled out my phone, bringing up the property records. Would you like to see the deed? Or perhaps the email your husband sent last month complaining about the renovation schedule? The one where he threatened to break the lease if we didn't accommodate his timeline. David had appeared at my elbow, no longer recording but standing solidly beside me. Sophia. William's voice had lost all its pomposity. I had no idea. Of course you didn't. Your wife made it very clear tonight that I'm too insignificant to matter. Just a little housewife playing at business, married to one of your SVPs for his money. I never. Catherine started. Cute dress. Must be nice having a husband who buys you things. I quoted. Be careful about seeming too eager to spend his earnings. Don't oversell yourself. Should I continue? The other executives were pulling out phones, no doubt Googling Rhodes Property Group. The whispers started immediately. 47 properties. Net worth in the hundreds of millions. One of the city's largest commercial landlords. This is a misunderstanding, William said desperately. Catherine didn't mean. Although she meant every word, just like she meant it when she called my agency little. When she suggested I vacation at the state park because I couldn't afford better. When she offered to teach me to fit in. I smiled at Catherine. Thank you for that, by the way. You've taught me exactly what kind of tenants I don't want in my buildings. You can't evict us over a social slight, William blustered. Evict you? No, but your lease is up for renewal in 6 months. Based on how things have gone tonight, I'll be adjusting to the market rate. You're paying $30 per square foot, a carryover from the last owner. Current market is $90. That's triple. It is. But as your wife pointed out earlier, quality has a price. And William, you've always demanded a certain level of quality, haven't you? Catherine grabbed his arm. William, do something. What would you like him to do? I asked. Show respect. Too late. Apologize? Doesn't mean much. Acknowledge that the person he's dismissed all evening actually owns the building. That's happening now. This is unfair. This is business. The same business you keep telling me I don't understand. David finally spoke. Sophia, maybe this should be discussed in private. No, I said. Your boss's wife chose to belittle me in front of everyone. The correction will happen in front of everyone too. I turned back to William. Here's the outcome. You'll keep your current rate for the remainder of the lease. After 6 months, you'll move out. I already have tenants lined up who are prepared to pay market value and who know how to treat a landlord professionally. Please, William's tone cracked. We've invested millions tailoring this space. Our operations are built around this location. Investments you made in my building, I reminded him. Per your lease, any improvements stay when you go. The next tenants will be thrilled to use the executive conference room you installed. David, William turned desperately to my husband. Talk to your wife. Make her reconsider. David smiled. With respect, sir, I don't control my wife. And frankly, she's the expert here. I just work for you. Not for much longer if she follows through with this. Are you threatening his job over a lease negotiation? I asked calmly. The room fell silent. Because that would be a serious matter for a labor review. William paled. No, that's not what I meant. Good. Then we're clear. I picked up my purse. David, I think we're done here. One more thing, he said. He grabbed 2 glasses of champagne, handed me one, and raised his voice so the whole ballroom could hear. To my wife, Sophia Rhodes. She owns this building and 46 more, built a real estate group from the ground up, and showed more composure tonight than anyone else in this room. He drank, set his glass on Catherine's table, and offered me his arm. We walked out in silence. In the car, David burst into laughter. Did you see Catherine's face when you revealed you owned the building? I thought she was going to faint. Are you okay? I asked. Your job. We'll be fine, and if not, I'll find another. Honestly, I'd rather join you. Rhodes Properties needs a CFO, doesn't it? David. I'm serious. You built an empire while I was playing office politics. Why stay at Hartley Industries when I could build with you instead? You'd leave Hartley. In a heartbeat. I'm done pretending you're just a hostess. I want to be part of your company, not downplay it at parties. What about your career? You just made SVP. SVP at a company that's about to lose its headquarters? Besides, Rhodes Property Group looks better on a resume. Real growth ahead. You're serious. Completely, unless you don't want to work with me. Are you kidding? You're the only person I trust with the books. I kissed him. CFO of Rhodes Property Group. With equity. And a car. Tough negotiator. You have no idea. We drove home talking about the future. Behind us, Hartley Industries' Gala had collapsed into chaos. Tomorrow William would scramble to recover. Catherine would be reckoning with her mistake. But tonight was ours. Next event, David said as we pulled into the driveway, you wear whatever designer you like, and everyone will know exactly who you are. Actually, I said, I might wear this dress again. Turns out it's very effective. He laughed. Catherine Hartley, undone by department store fashion. No, I corrected. Undone by underestimating the wrong woman. Inside, I poured us wine while David pulled up the Rhodes Property Group building portfolio on his laptop. Show me everything, he said. Every property, every tenant, every opportunity. If I'm going to be your CFO, I need to know what we're building. I teased. Partnership, remember? You handle the real estate. I handle the numbers. We both handle the future. I shoved him everything. The properties, the plans, the potential. No more hiding. No more downplaying. No more pretending to be less than I was. Catherine Hartley had been right about one thing. Men do notice things. And my husband had noticed that his wife was extraordinary. It just took his boss's wife insulting me in my own building for everyone else to notice too. 6 months later, Hartley Industries moved to a suburban office park. Triple the rent would have been a bargain compared to what they ended up paying. William retired early. Catherine deleted her social media after the story went viral. And David, he's the best CFO Rhodes Property Group ever had. We work from the top floor of the building Hartley Industries vacated, the one with the executive conference room they so kindly renovated for us. Sometimes the best revenge isn't served cold. Sometimes it's served at exactly market rate with a lease agreement that reflects current values. $90 per square foot, non-negotiable. Just ask Catherine Hartley, if you can find her.